you see, what you hear, what you smell, yeah, that's physical, your senses tell you so.
Good afternoon, class. Today we're going to be learning more about matter. Who remembers what we learned about matter last week? What is it? What is matter? Raise your hand. Yes, you're right. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So that is practically anything, right? That's anything we can eat, anything we touch, anything we can see, pretty much, right? So today specifically, we're going to be talking about the physical properties of matter. Have we heard that before? It's kind of new, right? Let me give you an example. If we look at me, if we look at Ms. Valdez, what do we see? We see that I have brown hair, that I have brown eyes, that I'm wearing a blue shirt. And if we were to measure my height, would that be physical property? Yes, good job. So you guys kind of are starting to understand what I'm talking about. But I want you guys to tell me what you know about it. Now that I gave you an example, what can you say that you know about it? It's things that we see. It's observable, right? They're observable. So we'll put observable. What else? Can be color. That's true. Color. What else do we know? Size. That's a good one. Shape. Right? What else? Can anyone think of anything else? Measured. Good job. That's awesome. Measurable. Good job. So I'm going to give you guys a few other examples of physical properties, just so you can have a little more of an idea. So other physical properties that we're going to be talking about today include magnetism. What does that sound like to you? Magnets. Good job. That's what we're going to be using. What else? Mass. We've talked about mass before, right? Mass. Temperature. That's what we're going to be doing today too. Temperature. We're going to be talking about their color also, their shapes. We're going to be talking about sink or floating. That's what else. Sink or float. We've covered these things before, right? But we haven't done them. We haven't tested them. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So now that you have more examples of what physical properties are, what do you want to know about it? Can anyone tell me something that we want to learn? That's a good one. Are all shiny things magnetic? Magnetic. What else do we want to know? That is a great one. Do things that look alike, or that look the same, right, have different physical properties? Different physical properties. That's a good question. We should find that out today. What else? Now, what about the opposite of this? Do we want to know that? I think so, right? Do things that look different have the same physical properties? Different have the same physical properties. I wonder, what do you guys think? Maybe, right? They might. They could. We'll find that out today by testing. Today, we're going to be finding out some of the answers to these questions, and we're going to be learning even more about it. So I'm going to show you guys some examples of things that you're going to do in your centers today, okay? Let's start with mass. We covered mass a few weeks ago. We've learned about it. Who can tell me what this is? Raise your hands. Yes, it's a triple beam balance. And what does this do? Measure mass, right? So these objects that I have here are examples of matter, right? Yes, they are. Good job, guys. Let's take this tape dispenser. Let's measure it. Let's see. I'm going to turn this around so I can see it, and I'll turn it back around so you guys can see how much it weighs. Remember, it has to be on the 0, right? That's what we're trying to do to measure its mass. Let's see. This might be heavy. 500? That's too much. Let's go to 400. That seems good. Now, what do we move next? Which runners? Yes, the 10s. Good job. I have it on the 60 right now. That seems a little light. Let's go to the 1s. Okay, so we're in the 1. That's too much. I have it on the 5 right now. So right now it's 465, and that's still a little bit too much. 464? Too much. Let's try 463. So 463 is about right. So what can we say about this? What is its property? Is it a heavy object or is it a light object when we have 463 grams? It is heavy, right? Good job. So you guys are going to be testing different things. So now I'm going to go to sink or float. You guys are going to have bowls of water, and I want you guys to test it. We have this car. Do you guys think it's going to sink or do you think it's going to float? Some people say sink, some people say float. Let's find out. It's floating, right? So we can say that this car has a physical property of floating. Good job. Now let's take this quarter. What do you guys think? Is this quarter going to sink or float? A lot of you guys are saying sink. Let's find out. It did sink. Good job. We heard the clink, right? Awesome. So when you guys are testing, I want you to pay attention to if the objects that you predicted were going to sink or float are the objects that did. So here we have little magnet. You guys are going to have a little bit bigger ones in your stations, in your centers. And let's test. We have a lot of shiny objects here. What do we think? That was one of the things we wanted to know, right? Let's see. Let's start with the spoon. What do you think it's going to be magnetic? I think so. Let's try it. It did, right? It's magnetic. So the spoon, one of the spoon's physical properties is that it's magnetic. Good. We have two paper clips here. One is pink and one is silver. What I want you guys to do, I'm not going to do this one because this is something I want you guys to do in your centers. I want you to see if the color makes a difference. But let's try these. Staples, magnetic, awesome. This is the back of an earring. I didn't think that was going to be magnetic. Did you guys? Awesome, good job. And one of the other things we have is a glass of water. Who remembers how to measure the temperature of water? We're going to have our thermometers. Gonna let it go. Okay, it's cold water. It's 63 degrees. Oh, that's super cold, right? And when you guys you don't just have water, you have Gatorades, you have other objects, and you're going to test their physical properties. And you guys are going to have these balls. What do we think? They look the same. Are they going to have the same physical properties? You're going to find out in your centers. Okay, when you guys are working in your centers to measure or to record the measurements that you've made, you're going to use this table. Each object in the center has a number. So when you get to number 1, for example, in the magnetism center, you're going to write, was it magnetic? Yes, no. You're going to write its color, shape. Any observations or measures that you make, you're going to record them here, okay? And remember, when we're working in our centers, we're not going to be throwing the water. We're going to be focusing on finding out physical properties of matter. Okay, I want you guys to work together as a group and to focus on what we're doing. Okay, guys, let's go to our centers.
Measure the matter in some way that's physical.
Now that we've tested our items and recorded our findings, let's talk about what we learned. Let's answer the questions on our KWO chart. Okay, did you guys find out if all shiny things were magnetic? Who can tell me? They were not. That's true. No. Why not? How did you guys find that out? Because of the coins. That is true. The coins were not all magnetic. We'll just put the coins. The quarters didn't get picked up by the magnets, right? And they're shiny, so that's proof. Did the things that look the same have different physical properties? Yes, they did. That's right. What was the example of that you guys noticed? The paper clips. They were different colors, and they did have some different properties, right? So we'll write paper clips. There was other examples too that I saw on your recordings that was different too. Did all the things that look different have the same physical properties? Not all of them, that's true, not all. What was the example of that? An example of this would be the ball and the car, right? They look very different, and they have different physical properties. For example, the color and the shape, right? Good job, guys. You guys did so good in your centers. Tomorrow, during the week, we're going to move on to learn about chemical properties.